You can't see your soul. So whoever you marry, if soulmates are a thing, you're never actually gonna know whether or not they're your soulmate, whether or not your souls just fit together perfectly and we're perfect for each other. You'll never actually know. So whoever you end up with, you're just gonna call them your soulmate anyways. Hey guys, it's Olivia and I'm back with another video. So the title of this week's video is kind of straightforward. It tells you what this video is going to be about. I'm going to be talking about why I don't believe in soulmates. But before we get into this week's video, be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every Monday. I make anywhere from topic videos like this to pop socket videos to how to make money online videos. And with all that being said, let's get into this week's video. So one of the reasons I don't believe in soulmates is because there's so many restrictions in who you can actually fall in love with. For example, you're limited to the people who are around you. You're also limited to the people who speak your language. And you're also limited to the people who are within your age range. And yes, I know that if you were 27, you can legally marry an 83-year-old, but you probably don't want to. So those are only 3 of the many restrictions in the people that you could possibly fall in love with. Like, think about the married people you know. Think about the couples you know. Maybe they met at school. Maybe they met at work. Maybe they live in the same neighborhood. What are the odds that out of the 7 billion people in the world, your soulmate just so happens to live down the street? But now for a different example, let's pretend that soulmates are real. There is someone out there who your soul and their soul just fit together perfectly. Let's say that your soulmate lives in Barcelona and you live in Toronto and you don't have the money to travel to Spain and they don't have the money to travel to Canada. Therefore, you are never going to meet your soulmate. Or let's say that money is no option. You go to Barcelona all the time. When you go there, let's say you meet them, let's say you're walking down the street, you accidentally bump into them. Odds are you speak English and they speak Spanish. So yes, you've met them, but you'll never get to know them. You can't talk to someone who doesn't speak the same language as you. You can't get to know them. So that person could be perfectly compatible with you, but you will never know because you will never have a conversation with them because you don't speak the same language. So going back to the first example I made, if you don't have the money, you're limited to the people around you. So you're never going to meet your soulmate who lives in Barcelona. And also the language barrier, even if you do find yourself in Barcelona or if they find themselves in Toronto, you can't speak, meaning you can't fall in love. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to fall in love and get married because, as I said, think about the people you know. They met within their little bubble world. Like there's the world of 7 billion people, but then there's your world of the people you actually know. So you are probably still going to fall in love and get married. And whoever you marry, you're going to call that person your soulmate. Because the thing is, you can't see your soul. Like, I can't be like, oh, where's my soul? Is it under here? Like, you can't see your soul. So whoever you marry, if soulmates are a thing, you're never actually gonna know whether or not they're your soulmate, whether or not your souls just fit together perfectly and we're perfect for each other. You'll never actually know. So whoever you end up with, you're just gonna call them your soulmate anyways. So now that I've told you what I don't believe, I'll tell you what I do believe. I believe that there are multiple people in this world who you are compatible with, and it just depends on which one you meet first. For example, let's say there's person A and person B and you are equally compatible with both of them. Let's say you met person A first, you fall in love with person A, you marry person A, and then 5 years later you meet person B. You are not going to look at person B in a romantic way because you already have somebody filling that romantic place in your life. So it's not that you're not compatible with person B, you're just not gonna see it because that's not what you're looking for. So now let's back it up and switch it. Let's say that you met person B first, you fall in love with person B, you marry person B, and 5 years later you meet person A. Once again, you are not going to fall in love with person A, even though In the first instance, you were married to person A, but in this instance, you met person A second, and person B is already occupying that romantic place in your life. Therefore, you are not looking for a romantic interest, so you're not going to find one in person A because you already have one in person B. And to slightly contradict what I just said, I said the first compatible person you meet is the person you're going to marry. And that doesn't always work, because let's say you met someone when you were 14, you're probably not going to marry that person. This is what I think. There's like a window of time when you are searching for someone. Like if you're 18, you're probably not ready to settle down. Some 18-year-olds are, but I would guess majority aren't. So let's say, for the purpose of this example, between the ages of 25 and 35 is when you are looking for someone to settle down with. So if you are within this range of I'm ready to settle down, and then you meet somebody who you're compatible with who is also ready to settle down, then you're probably going to marry that person. Because have you ever heard the term the right person but the wrong time? So you could meet the right person and you're ready to settle down and they're not. Or you could meet the right person and they're ready to settle down and you're not. There's so many variables in falling in love with someone that soulmates cannot be a factor. It's all the barriers that I mentioned at the beginning. There's age and location and language, and then there's also the timing. So if you meet someone who you're compatible with but the timing is off, then you're not going to marry that person. This is basically what I think has to happen. The three barriers: they need to live around you, or like let's say you visit somewhere frequently, they could also live there, speak the same language as you, be within the same age range as you. Plus, you need to be in this section of life where you're ready to settle down, and they also need to be in that section of life where they're ready to settle down, and you guys have to be compatible with each other, and you guys actually have to meet each other. Because if there's someone in the world who fits all of those descriptions, but you never actually meet them, then you're not gonna marry them. There are so many variables in falling in love with someone that soulmates cannot be a thing. Like out of the 7 billion, you're just supposed to find one, and your souls have to match perfectly, and if they don't, sorry, move on to the next. You are not gonna meet a fraction of the people who live in the world. You're not gonna meet 1% of people who live in the world. What's 1% of 7 billion? You're not gonna meet that many people in your lifetime. Let alone all those people that you meet, you have to filter down to all of their restrictions, plus the compatibility, plus being in the right frame of your life. So let's say out of the 500 people who you've met ever, and then the 50 who you actually know well, and then 10 of them who actually fit that description, and then 2 of them who you're actually interested in, like, there's so many variables already that if there was a variable of, oh, you can only fall in love with this one person, nobody would ever get married. Legit, nobody would ever fall in love if you had to find that one person who could potentially live on the other side of the world. But anyways, that's just my opinion on the topic. I personally don't think that soulmates are real. You can tell me your opinion down in the comments below. But that is all for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, be sure to share it with them. All my social media links will be down below in case you want to follow me on there. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every Monday. And I'll see you next Monday with a new video.